So we're going to get to that here in just a second. Welcome back to the Behind the Blind podcast here. Thank you to Tetra Hearing, the proud sponsor of the Behind the Blind podcast. Check them out online at tetrahearing.com. We're again here in Oklahoma with S-Bar Outfitters. We got Justin Chaz Michael, Alex Diecide, I'm Ronnie Philips, and joining us for the very first time, put your hands together for Jake from S-Bar.
Welcome.
I don't know how much of the shenanigans prior to us actually introing the show is going to make the podcast, but we were jamming out to a little bit of Creed, and I had made a suggestion that we should do like a karaoke. We should do a karaoke where everybody on the podcast at the very beginning sings a few licks to a song, and Jake said this is his very first podcast and that he doesn't do karaoke. And he goes, well, if you're going to do that, it's got to be red dirt. So I want to know if you were to go into a bar and all your buddies were going to have you sing a karaoke song, what's your go-to?
Probably have to be some Turnpike Troubadours, 7-7.
Turnpike Troubadours. Pull it up.
Long Hot Summer Day.
What song?
Long Hot Summer Day.
I mean, they're both good.
Long Hot Summer Day from the
Turnpike Troubadours.
Or is it for me to say Turnpike Troubadours?
Those are some Oklahoma boys too. Turnpike.
Yep.
Aren't they from Tulsa or are they?
Yeah, around that area.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Behind the Blind podcast. It's karaoke version. Introducing on the microphone and singing karaoke on the podcast from S-Bar Outfitters. Give it up for Jake. Here we go. 3.
I'm gonna pick up some of these empties, Lord. As I find where they lay. Tied off and jolly and leaving mine on a long hot summer day.
I love it.
For every day I'm working on the Illinois River, get a half a day off, they say. Go towboat picking up barges on a long hot summer day.
All right,
Nailed it.
dude, this might be, just because of those first 2 minutes of this podcast, the best podcast we've ever done. That was incredible.
Well, you said everybody had to. So what's yours?
Oh my gosh. Let's get into the hunt here.
Okay.
We'll see how this podcast goes, and then we'll go into we'll see
What's wrong, Alex?
See what's left. Did you lose your ears? Yeah, I keep losing my audio. Oh, we're having technical difficulties. Anyway, all right. So here we are. It's I guess our second episode since we've been here, and we talked about going to a peanut field, which we were in the vicinity of the peanut field, but none of us got to pop our cherry on hunting a peanut field because none of us have had the opportunity to do that. And we ended up hunting a cornfield. And as it turns out, a lot of the ducks wanted to go to the peanut field. So what happened there, Jake?
I don't know. I think a little bit of the warmer weather and stuff, you know.
No wind.
Yeah, no wind too, but them ducks have been here since October. I mean, we got them the last week of October. They've been hammering the peanuts. Hunted them 2 or 3 times in there, done pretty good on them. And honestly, the way that farmer farmed that, so tall, we honestly didn't think they'd get in the corn.
It was a trashy cornfield.
It was super trashy. And before, middle November, it was 2.5, 3 foot tall. And we asked him, hey, can you at least run your drill through it, air seed or whatever, and knock it down for us a little bit? And he did. And I mean, maybe not how we want it to end up. I mean, still a lot of ducks.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When we watched it last night, they were all in the corn. They weren't in the peanuts. The night before, when someone was watching it, they were in the corn. So what do? You're going to hunt what you see them do the last 2 nights in a row, which is be in the corn. And for whatever reason, whether it's because it was a little bit warmer today, they just seem to hover, right? And that's a wind issue. Yeah. Hovering is a wind issue. And again, if we weren't filming, if you were shooting straight up or maybe popping out and turning around and shooting, the back 45, you could have shot a lot more. But really, it's like they just seem to want to hug that peanut field line and behind us a little bit. And that could have been a wind issue. It could have been a weather issue. But what can you do? You can only hunt where you've seen them in the last 2 days.
And our hide was good.
Phenomenal.
We were ahead really well.
That was one of our best hides of the year. I mean, especially laying out in the middle of a field, you know.
Right. Well, I would hope so because of how much trash was in that field. There was really no excuses for not having a good hide.
Absolutely
It
not.
wasn't a hide.
And it's the same thing we talk about. Like we shot 26 ducks, right? A majority of greenheads. We had saw some phenomenal birds working. They were crushing, and it's crazy how high you would initially see them. And I mean, they're touching wingtips. They're carrying luggage all the way down until they just didn't want to quite finish
And then they
exactly.
peel off.
We're picky, right?
Yeah.
We're picky.
Oh yeah.
And we know it.
We're trying to decoy.
We're very picky about how we want to shoot these birds, decoying perfectly, over the decoys. But just to see those birds when you look up, and you could probably hear it in the audio of the episode, like we're laughing, right? Because you look up and you go, oh my God, like look at these 50 mallards just crushing in. And all in all, it was a very fun afternoon, right? We had a lot of fun. We shot a lot of ducks, shot 26 mallards. But you go into it you always go into a hunt, right? Saying, hey, we're going to shoot a full
50.
limit. We're going to bang them
yeah.
up. And you see that
Could
many
be
ducks.
special.
Yeah. And so, in our eyes, like, oh man, it's a little bit of a disappointment,
It
but
was still awesome.
it was an awesome hunt.
Anytime you get to watch, 1,500, 2,000 ducks just, swarm you over the top of you. And then you have the special 10 that come and just do it right. I mean, dump in your face. You're like, oh man, that was kind of worth it. But I wish the 1,500 would do that.
Right.
That was like Jack yesterday. He's like,
Jack is your son.
He's like,
sorry, Jack, the other Jack. I thought
Jack is his son.
Sorry.
I thought
you. Well, you keep talking about the conversations you've had with your kids. He does have a son named Jack.
Like yesterday,
Put the microphone to your mouth.
Jack's like, you didn't say much. I was just watching ducks all morning long.
Yeah.
It's just like the amount of ducks down here is incredible.
I mean, it really is. And we say it all the time, we'll go shoot 50 birds and contract. Are y'all not happy? You mad? Like, no. But it's kind of bad to say we kind of get immune to it to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've seen those ducks do that 5 times. Yep. It's great, but we want them to work how we want them to work. Sure. And when they don't do it right, obviously we get frustrated.
Speaking of
Absolutely.
Jack, it is funny because I know if he watches this or anyone who watches this, and we've talked about it before, is people who aren't used to hunting with us and our style of hunting, especially with filming and how we're very particular about how we want our birds to finish and things like that. He was just chomping at the bit to be able to shoot duck. It was driving him, and he'll say it right here, like it's driving him crazy.
It
right?
does.
Because he wants to shoot those ducks that are just
It drives us crazy
perfect
too.
straight up shot when they're hovering. Oh yeah, right. But it was funny this afternoon. He's like, "Oh man, I almost can't take this. Like, I can't take this torture."
It is.
We talked about this last night actually with Tyler, and he was kind of prepared for the fact that this is a little different animal when you hunt with us because we have to be picky. If we're not shooting birds on camera, then it kind of defeats the purpose of why we're here. So how difficult was that for you? Was this your first experience in being on a filmed hunt?
Yeah. I mean, a production like this, especially, I knew kind of going into it, we weren't going to be able to do, the 15-yard floaters between the decoys and the blinds. That's a guide's dream.
Sure.
Those are chip shots for clients.
Right.
Those are the ones that clients kill,
Yeah.
It kind of drove me crazy too. Jack's looking at me. He's like, dude, we should be at 60 birds right now. I'm like, I get it, dude. But
Right.
It makes for great content.
Yeah.
It makes, this is what you guys do.
Yeah.
You guys know how to do it. We're just a bunch
Even 11 years into it, it drives us crazy.
Oh, yeah.
it does.
Oh yeah.
I was whispering to Alex, and look, I'm thinking like, oh my God, you hear
kept
the sigh like,
calling.
we kept-
right there,
We kept saying, Logan, let's just shoot him up top. Logan, can we just shoot him up top?
Yeah.
They're not going to finish. Like at some point, you just got to.
And that was the one thing
Yeah,
I had said to him, to Logan, because Logan's the one who was calling the shot. And I was like, look, the big groups are not finishing. We have to take what we can get. And that sucks
heard
too,
you say
because
that.
if you have like 4 that are right there,
It's hard.
and
to
you've got
call
a
it.
mondo wad that are up there, you don't want to blow them all out, right? And it what I'm trying to say is that it's a tough predicament for the person who's calling the shot.
Absolutely.
But it was when you just keep getting kicked in the nuts,
Right.
you're like eventually like, I really want to take out some of this aggression on the ones that are floating right there.
But how lucky are we that what we're complaining about is like, oh man, there was way too many ducks around and we were only 4 in the hole. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
we saw ton of ducks tonight.
Yeah, there was
a ton of ducks tonight.
There was a lot of
It
ducks that
awesome.
were working the decoys, more coming in, like, oh, maybe these fresh ducks will do it, and that's what everybody's thinking. And
Right. And I mean, they were cutting air, and with no wind, it got very, very quiet there. The last 30 minutes, it was like you could hear a pin drop quiet, and you could just hear those duck, like just touching wingtips. It was super cool. Now, right, would we all like to have shot 50 ducks tonight?
Absolutely,
sure.
But we shot 26 right in the decoys.
Yeah, that was cool.
And
I'm not going to complain about
really
that.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
One of the
We
things
finally got that last group to like finish.
that was a good one to end on for sure.
It was.
One of the things that is still kind of mind-boggling to me, and we've talked about it when we were scouting them last night, was how high they get for only going 3 miles.
yeah. God literally just dropped his hands out. And dropped
That's what
we always
Tyler
say.
said.
Yeah.
God just sprinkles.
He's just like, here you go, guys. There it is.
I don't know
they
that
do drop from the heavens here.
They do.
in all the times that we've gone and hunted ducks across the country, that we've seen them when they're only coming from that far away, which we think is not that far, that they get that high. Is that pretty typical for that field, or even just in general in this
Is that an
area?
Oklahoma thing?
Not necessarily. I mean, that field, they've always done it. Past 3 years, they've done the exact same thing. You kind of got to sit there and lean your blade up and just look straight up most of the time. And then when you see them, every single one of them are holding dumbbells, getting down.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a cool experience.
It is.
It really is.
It is, especially
It never gets old.
for anyone who hasn't got to experience laying in a layout or sitting in an A-frame and looking up and watching 50, 100, 150 mallards touching wingtips and losing a couple 100 feet in altitude in seconds.
It's like an elevator going down.
It's such a cool sight. And I don't care if you've seen it one time or 100 times. I guarantee you that in all those layout blinds, we were like grinning ear to ear, like,
oh yeah,
this is it, right? This is what we came to see. It never gets old.
Just wish they would have gone the last 50 yards.
Right.
I know. All right, so what's the plan for tomorrow? So we did an afternoon hunt. That's something that we typically don't do. We're going to get back onto our normal, regular scheduled program and do morning hunts, and it's a lesser field.
Yep, lesser field, right outside of town. Been here for a couple days now. Great hide, and we're doing what you come to Oakland for: shoot lessers.
Yeah,
and that's our bread and butter.
What's the weather going to do tomorrow?
Rain all day.
Yeah,
so
rain all day.
We're
not
obviously
much
going to
wind,
deal with some rain.
Yeah.
But they're going to come out. They're a player. They're not. If they come out and they want to put on a show, they're gonna do it.
Rain or shine, we grind.
Oh yeah.
Is that a typical situation like we're used to, because we typically hunt the greater Canada goose? Occasionally we'll get into some lessers, but when you get into the conditions where it's going to rain, like they typically want to come out.
Oh yeah.
Because they're going to stay in the field all day long.
All day.
Yeah. So that's pretty standard here too.
Yeah, we've seen it. I mean, all year. Anytime there's any weather pattern, they're sitting in the field all day.
Mm-hmm.
So
we like to.
So I don't have any. So there's really no concerns on whether or not they're going to come out or not.
No,
right.
It's stale birds. Once again, I mean, these birds out here, they get shot at every single day, sometimes twice a day.
Right.
And so, just the bounciness of them right now. That's the only concern, is if they want to come to that field. They've been there for 2 days, so.
And
Shouldn't
honestly,
be any excuses on that part.
The weather might help that situation, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been sunny and fairly warm for, a week, 2 weeks, and then you finally maybe get a little bit of that weather change. Now, granted, maybe there's not as much wind as you want, or it's not as cold as you want, but I feel like in past experiences, rain, we always make that joke like, oh, it's rainy, it's a real ducky day, and it seems to be like, especially that kind of off and on rain gets them moving. And you get those lessers that are comfortable in that field, that weather change may just make that much of a difference to where it's like, all right, now we're really they're going to want to come to that field that they're comfortable in, because they're going to want to sit in it all day.
Yeah,
I hope
it might
so.
be a difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope they show up and play right. These birds, when they give it up, it's nothing better. Goose over duck any day of the week.
Really? You're a goose guy.
Oh, absolutely.
He
is a goose guy.
over anything.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for watching another episode of the Pop. No, I'm just joking.
Is Tyler the duck guy?
I'd
was.
say Tyler and Jack are the duck guys.
Okay.
Me and Clayton are the goose guys.
You're the goose guys.
Grayson, that boy, kill anything.
Yeah,
He'll kill anything.
for sure.
Ronnie's the duck guy.
I mean,
I love it.
I'm not gonna
Me
lie.
too.
Like sitting if you get to experience like a true lesser, like where you're sitting down 100, 150, like truly getting into it, it's something really special that not a lot of people get to
The
experience.
tornado.
Oh yeah.
And just
Like
setting
lesser
them,
tornado?
just setting them down.
It's like snow geese.
Yeah.
One of the things that we get often as feedback from the people who follow us over the years is sometimes they want like information. They want some sort of educational value. So can you kind of give the viewers, the people who are listening to this podcast, what the setup's going to look like? Like how many decoys are we thinking that we're going to throw? What's the spread going to look like? What's kind of your mindset and your vision for how we're going to set up tomorrow?
We go big. I mean, every day we're running.
How big is big?
40 dozen.
Okay.
Full bodies.
Okay.
A-frame on the edge. We'll just have to kind of see how the wind is in the morning. If we actually have a decent wind, we'll have a big feed line, big kind of push them up in a corner. They're like snow geese. They're going to want to pack in with everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially our birds down here. I mean, they hop each other all the time. They're piling in.
Right.
No wind, we'll probably loosen it up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
give them a few lanes, kind of let them do what they want to do,
Do you ever do the donut hole?
No. We're not donut guys.
Okay.
Never. I can't think of the one time in the last 3 or 4 years we've thrown a donut.
I mean, there's some that do,
Oh, yeah.
and it's we've
More power to
hunted
them.
with some, and it's been effective. But you seem pretty adamant about that. You're not a subscriber to that.
No.
Tell us why.
I mean, you just go look at our birds in our fields. I mean, you guys saw it.
Yeah.
They spread out. I mean, it's huge. They just run down as far as they can.
Yeah.
And it's weird. They kind of get their spacing. Like they want to kind of be away from each other and feed and eat and stuff. But at the same time, they're all packed in one part of the field.
Yep.
So.
All right.
Makes
and we're
total
not worried
sense.
about ducks at all tomorrow. Just straight
No
geese.
No ducks.
Okay.
Straight geese.
No ducks?
How it's supposed to be. Yeah. No more ducks.
How
Sorry.
it's supposed
Sorry,
to
Chaz.
be.
I mean, not even for the rest of the trip.
Like not a single
We'll
one?
get on ducks the rest of the trip. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Don't
Sorry.
break Ronnie's heart. Yeah.
You say that until we go shoot 100 tomorrow. and then
All right. No, seriously. I'm
Give me the
excited.
geese.
I'm excited about tomorrow. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys got? Any questions?
I
Anything?
appreciate you guys having us down. You guys are awesome guys. Like, do it right. Like, this has been a lot of fun.
It has been a
Appreciate you
lot
guys
of fun.
having us here.
I mean, we're glad that you guys came with us. I mean, we've been, a couple years now trying to get you guys down and do it. And you got lucky and picked a good set of dates.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of birds
Thanks
around.
for having us.
For sure. Like, and that's, we kind of talked about it yesterday with Tyler, is like when you can join up with a group of guys that are very like-minded, you hunt the same, you think the same, you have the same passion for everything, and you're wanting to do it the right way. You just click really easy. And I feel like that's where we've been here with these
The whole
guys
time.
is you and Tyler and the whole crew have been great, right? We've had a phenomenal day. Today is the second day. We got 2 more full days to do it. And it's been a great trip. Like, highly recommended. This is, if you want to come down and you want to experience some phenomenal Oklahoma duck hunts or shooting lessers and things that a lot of people don't get to experience or have the chance to, like, this is a place to be able to do it with some
Absolutely.
very like-minded, like, solid individuals that, know how to hunt and want to give that experience to people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, first thing I tell everybody is we want to kill them worse than any client we
Right.
have does. I mean, I promise that day in and day out, because who wants to wake up at 3 o'clock every morning and go do this and not shoot birds?
Right.
We're blue collar guys. That's the first thing I told Logan when we were talking on the phone. I'm like, you're going to come down here. It's going to be straight blue collar. I mean, farmers, roofers, construction guys, firemen. I mean, that's just what we are.
Yep.
And we're not going to try.
Yep.
We're not going to stray far from that.
Well, and
So.
what I was going to tag on to what Alex was saying is that there is zero ego in this industry, waterfowl
Hard to find
particular.
that.
There is so much ego, and it's who's the best caller, and I was did this calling championship, and we killed this many birds, and no, I know how to kill them, and we're not going to be open minded to what the way you guys are doing it. There's zero ego, and the other thing I was going to say is that you guys are very flexible and understanding of what we have to do. Regardless of how
From a
hard and difficult it can be at times, which we've already spoken to,
Right.
but we really appreciate that. So before we wrap this up, I'll remind you that You do have a chance to win from Blue Water Polarize. We are giving away while we're here a pair of the Luke Combs Watuga sunglasses, the duck lenses, which are awesome. We love those as well. And then Blue Water is also going to throw in a swag pack. So all you have to do is make sure that you're commenting on all of these videos. You like, you subscribe. We've been talking about this. We try to do a giveaway on every single trip that we go on. And so make sure that you do all of those things so that at the end of this trip, we can announce who that winner is. Now we'll close out with this. Who's going to sing karaoke? No,
Yeah, Ronnie.
No, I think we should do ham, paper, scissors.
No way.
I mean, I already got mine out of the way.
Or rock, paper, scissors, rather.
What is Chaz like?
Yeah, well, if you had to pick a song, Chaz, what is your song? If you had a few drinks in you, which you do, what?
Hey, I want to say something real quick. My young sons watch this podcast. Like,
I didn't say you were drunk.
I know we mess around, but like, let's set the right example.
No, okay. So I'm sorry. The point is that if you were to be out with some friends and you were in a karaoke bar, what would be your go-to?
I'm not your karaoke guy right now. I think you're.
I'm just saying. What would your song be?
What is your go-to? Friends in low places. I feel like that's a pretty common.
You are in
I
Oklahoma.
feel like you're ready.
You are in Oklahoma. Garth Brooks.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Probably more like some rap music or something.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, like 90s.
Like some
90s
Humpty
rap?
Dance or like
Ooh,
some
okay.
Vanilla Ice or something. But
Put that on cue. Humpty Dance.
I get a crisscross. I knew you're a crisscross guy, right?
What is yours, Alex?
Oh, my
What's your
gosh.
go-to?
I don't know. The last time I probably sang karaoke was at Red Fox on mile
Oh
marker
my God, the Red
52 at
Fox.
the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
It was probably something like Friends in Low Places or one of those typical like drunk white guy songs.
Garth Brooks.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
probably. I don't have a go-to. I don't sing a lot of karaoke.
Gotcha.
I'm
Me
all
neither.
looks. I'm not voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. I think my go-to, actually, I don't think I know. My go-to is David Lee Roth.
Van Halen?
Huh?
Some Van
No. David Lee Roth.
His solo stuff?
Just a Gigolo.
You're really doing
All right,
yourself
play it.
now.
Please play it. Please.
Q, pull it
Do
up.
you think I should do it? You think I should perform it?
Yes, please.
I probably should.
You're
pick it.
calling us out to do karaoke, but
I'm
you
not
just
trying
wanted
to. I'm
do
not
it
trying to
yourself.
set an example here for Justin's children. As we close this out, ladies and gentlemen, just a gigolo everywhere I go. People know the part I'm playing. For every dance, selling each romance. Ooh, what are they saying? There will come a day when people will dance away. What will they say about me? When the end comes, I know I'm just a gigolo. What goes on without me?
Drake's was better.
I'm just a gigolo everywhere I go. I'm still going here, dude. No, I'm done. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. A lot of fun, bro. That was a lot of fun.
Jake.
We had a great time.
Thank you guys for having me.
Make sure you guys comment,
you
like,
killed it.
subscribe, do all the things to win that Blue Water package. And then we're going to be back tomorrow with another podcast. And make sure you check out the video from today's hunt and then come back and see how we do with that lesser hunt tomorrow or within a few hours of us actually doing that hunt. So for Justin Chaz Michaels, Alex Diecide, Jake from S-Bar Outfitters, I'm Ronnie Philips. That is the Behind the Blind podcast brought to you by Tetra Hearing. Check them online at tetrahearing.com. And I am just a gigolo.